I took it as a sign. God listened to me. Walked out of that jail, thanking God. But I didn't know what it meant to be a Christian. I had no idea. I was so messed up in the head that I didn't even know how to recover. And then I didn't know where to turn. I didn't go to church. I talked to God, but I didn't get plugged into any church anywhere. And kept living life like a crazy person. Well, years later, I'm back in trouble. Still drinking and doping, not taking life seriously. And I get in trouble again, and now I'm off to prison. And the reason I'm telling this is so that everybody knows that God is real, God can save you, God will help you, and that Mike's ministry is a beautiful thing. Because I'm walking testimony that what Mike does, it works. So I'm in prison. I got some time, 3 to 5 years, something like that. And I'm serious this time. I'm going to give God my all. And I did. I read my Bible every day. I went to church. I hung around other Christians. I stayed out of trouble. I quit swearing even when I was in there, and that's very hard to do in prison. I did my time. A pastor that I knew, he was always trying to pour into me, and I never gave him the thought of day. Well, when I got locked up, he made it a point to really invest in me, and he would come and visit me once a month. And he said, Scott, just go to church every week, the whole time you're here, and God will change your life. And he did. Got out of prison, on parole, no job, no resources really. They threw me in a halfway house. And I remember that I had to come up with rent every month. Otherwise, if I didn't pay my rent, then I would get kicked out of the halfway house and I would go back to prison. And I walked down to the church, and I grabbed Pastor Galen, his name was, and I said, I'm struggling, man. I don't know what to do. This is too hard. I can't do this. I'm going to end up going back anyway. And he said, no, come with me. We're going to go to lunch. Took me to lunch. He said, Scott, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to give you a job. You're going to come work for the church. You're going to clean the church. I'm going to pay you. You're going to make enough to pay your rent. And he did. Started working at the church. And God just transformed my heart. Just doors kept opening. Door after door after door. I trusted God every day. And when things got too tough, I just asked him for help. And he told me what to do. And I listened and I did it. That's not to say that everything's easy all the time and that I'm a perfect person. I'm not. I screw up every day. I ask God to forgive me. So I'm working in the church, getting paid to pay my rent. I get real plugged into this guy, youth pastor there. We become like best friends. I spend all my time at church and at home. When I'm at home, I'm listening to worship music, I'm reading the Bible, I'm tapping into God, and miracles start to happen. God gave me the power to make the right choices. I did so well on parole. This is no, I'm not kidding. I did so good on parole that my PO agent got promoted to Madison because I was a lost cause. They looked at my case and they're like, there's no way this kid should have succeeded. How'd you do it? Before I got off, he sat me down. He's like, hey, I want you to write a letter and make a video to say something to kids in juvenile detention because your story can help people. Made it off parole. Kept going to church. Met my beautiful wife back there in the corner. Started playing worship together with her. Had 4 beautiful children. But then I always wanted to do something more because when I was in prison, I remember there was a time where I was sitting in service and this guy came in off the street, kind of like, I didn't know, kind of like what Mike does, preached the service. And I just remember sitting there and I'm like thinking like, you know, this guy's talking about miracles and God's miracles and how God healed his daughter and all this stuff. And I was really confused then. And I was like, I don't know, the enemy just put anger in me. And I'm like, what do you know what it's like to be in prison? How are you going to sit there and tell me about a God when you've never been here? Does his sermon, doesn't say a word. He's heading out the back door to go through the guard gate. Turns around and he's like, oh, one more thing. If you guys don't think that I know what it's like to be locked up, I sat 20 years in the Illinois State Corrections Facility and God changed my life. And when he said that, a light bulb went on in my head. And I'm like, that's what I want.
Yep.
So when I got married, was working, things were going well, but I wanted to do more. It wasn't enough. I really wanted to serve and go back into prisons because that's what helped me. This gal that I went to church with does a lot of stuff with the juvenile corrections facilities. She knew Mike Acardo, gave me his number. We had lunch, and I've been helping him ever since. And it's not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying that God can heal and do miracles. Yes. And I am a walking miracle. Yes. The addiction, the alcoholism, all of my friends, 90% of my friends that I had in high school are dead. Almost I can think of maybe 3. 3 of them out of 20 are alive. And I get to stand here and talk to you guys today. And that's because of God's love and grace. And one thing I need to share before I get off here, there's nothing that you've done in your life that God won't forgive. Nothing. All sin is the same. So if you're sitting here and you're struggling in your own head, thinking God can't forgive you, it's a lie from the enemy. Just give it to the Lord. You got good days and bad days. But if you always keep one foot in front of the other and trust in God and ask him for help and listen to him and repent, which I need to do every day, God will help you. So that's basically my story in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it, but I'm just, thankful for God's grace and his love and mercy. I know I don't have as much energy as Pastor Luis, but this is how God made me, so. All right. Thanks for listening.